Can I have your attention, please? It is now time for the moment everyone has been waiting for. Tea time with T and Robyn.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds awesome.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody, calm down.
What's up, everyone? We are back. It is Tea Time with Robyn, episode 51, the Christmas edition. I am back with my girl, my ace, Robyn. What's up, Robyn?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I am so ready to roll with this podcast. I've been having it ready in my head for the last 2 days, and I'm about to explode with happiness.
Yes.
On top of the messages I have. First of all, to anybody who happens to be listening, because we don't care what numbers we have in the audience. We just do this for us. But I do want to say I am very grateful to my partner in crime that we are wrapping up another season, heading down the pike.
Yep.
Happy holidays coming ahead to everybody who happens to be listening to this.
Yes.
I think that most Bills fans are probably in a good mood. I know I am.
Yes.
Let's go.
What a game. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys thought they were going to come into Orchard Park and just whoop the Bills. I mean, with everything going on, the team is rallying behind Sean McDermott. And I know there's still people out there that don't trust Sean McDermott, who don't like him. Totally understand. Fair point. I get it. But right now, this team is saying, that's my coach. And they put a stomping on the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowgirls. Dallas. I loved every minute of it. Was Jerry Jones was he there?
Well, I don't know whether he could be bothered to
Right.
the cold and the rain. I'm certain, he said the rain affected his team, the weather affected his team.
Did you see the head coach? Someone came over and gave him a tea or coffee. And I'm saying to myself, we got him. We freaking got him. You dome teams, listen, that weather was nothing. Talk to us and the fans when they went to Indianapolis. Indianapolis came here and they played in that weather. Robyn, let's talk about this game.
Yes, let's talk about this game. Let's start with our favorite topic, the cookout.
Oh, the cookout! I love it. The cookout!
Did we have a cookout?
Oh,
we had us a cookout. Oh, we had us a cookout.
I am so happy for him.
Yes. And here's the deal. This goes back to something, I think I said it in the last podcast too. James Cook needs to be in a rhythm. Needs to get in a rhythm. When he gets in a rhythm, heaven help you. And this is what we saw. What was amazing to me was looking back. I was looking at some of the all 22 and all of that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, it's true. They never adjusted for that.
Robyn, Josh threw 7 passes. And so here's the thing. I hear people, I listen to, after we win or we lose, I go and listen to, the opponent's pods. And someone said, they just took the ball out of Josh's hand because they didn't trust him to win the game. No, what happened is that they seen that they can run the hell all over Dallas and said, why would I not?
Why would you change that up? If it's working, you can stop.
Why would I stop? Makes no sense.
And that's the thing that I think amazed Joe Brady and everybody on the offense was they did not adjust.
Yeah.
They did not adjust. And so you just keep feeding them. And I mean, come on. I think Josh is getting kind of like his dad, good with the phrases and stuff. When he comes out and he says, "Yeah, it was like being in the class project, and
Right.
I got an A, and I didn't do a darn thing."
Right.
And he was happy as a clam, and I can't remember who mentioned this. It might have been Dan Orlovsky. Somebody said there is something about Josh that is different in the sense that he is not selfish. It's not about him. He's not going to whine and complain because he throws for 94 yards in a game. He just wants to win.
I don't
And
care.
And neither does he.
And for people to say that he only had 94 yards, you didn't watch the game. And if you did watch the game, you should go back and watch it again. Because the fact that wasn't the game plan going into that wasn't the game plan. And for Joe Brady and Josh to say, listen, this is what's going on. Let's not stop this freight train. Let's continue. They had 4 different run plays and ran the 4 different run plays efficiently. Like 49 times they ran the ball against the Cowgirls 49 times.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And now think of this, because you want to talk about all the planets lining up the way that you hope that they would line up. Now, of course, it's not ideal that the Bills are fighting to even get in the playoffs. That's certainly less than ideal. But they do control their own destiny. And we're going to find out what team we've got, because they have to take care of business the next couple of weeks. And we'll talk about that when the Chargers discussion comes up. But the bottom line is they're riding the hot hand at just the right time.
Right.
Because now, let me ask you this. Teams are going to have to stack the box. So you just go right ahead and stack the box, because you're going to force Josh Allen to throw the ball. Well, oh my God, I guess we'll just have to see if Josh Allen can throw the ball to single covered Stephon Diggs. That'll happen every play, just like James Cook.
I truly love the fact that we establish that this team has a running game.
Yes.
And it allows, like you said, Josh, Stephon Diggs, even though I don't dog Gabe Davis, I don't dog him. I just really want him to show up. And maybe this is a Gabe Davis game. Like we haven't had a quote unquote breakout game for Gabe, even though that Philly game, was it Philly? I think it was Philly that he showed up. Philly game. But then he's disappeared, right? But he still can be part of this team. Excuse me. And I think Gabe now is more used as a blocker. Oh my God. It's just a lot. I went back and watched the game. It was a lot of small things like, oh my God, what was the guy's name that comes in as a tight end? Edwards, right? Edwards. He came in, he was blocking. Kincaid, excuse me, great block. Like a lot of small things happened in this game. And if you didn't go back and watch it, you would have missed like the small things.
And that's important, isn't it? In terms of, because Josh talked about this, the team has an immense amount of talent. What's got in the way of their successes are forgetting the small things, not paying attention to the details, that sort of thing. So that's what you saw differently when you saw this game. And the transition from where they were to where they are now is a huge mental shift.
The O-line is gelling at the right time. Like in the beginning of the season, we were so concerned about Spencer Brown.
Best year of his career.
What? His back. So he was injured. Healthy Spencer Brown, and we've seen it. We've seen sprinkles of Spencer Brown last year, and we've seen that a healthy Spencer Brown is maybe the best. This might be the best season, right? So, and you don't even hear his name.
Well, that's what you want, right?
Right.
You don't want to hear. Spencer Brown called for holding again. No, we're not hearing that. And here's the other thing, because you're talking about the O-line. I wrote that down on my list. They trucked. We saw Deion Dawkins and his 20-yard snowplow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The offensive line, Mitch Morse was on One Bills Live yesterday talking about how great it was to feel as a center like, oh, my God, I have got two really good tackles on either end. And Dawkins is having a career year.
Yes.
Spencer Brown is having a career year. And I do have to say, I could not stop laughing at a comment that Steve Tasker made, because he makes these off the hat comments that are so funny sometimes. So he was talking to Mitch Morris, I believe it was. Said, "You see, I was paying attention to Osiris. Do you see his feet? He's got feet like an elephant."
Oh, yeah, he does have big feet.
And it's a big base, right? Yeah. He plods, you cannot move him off his base.
I'll say this about, listen, why do I always say his name wrong? Torrance. He's a rookie. He's having a good season. Does he get beat? Absolutely. He gets beat. Is it something that can't be fixed? Sure. Yes, it can be fixed. He got beat. Michael Parsons is a top defensive player. He's good. There's nothing you're going to do about it. But it didn't cause them. I don't think it caused Josh to have a sack or anything like that. And the one sack that did happen, was it a sack? Because they called that was so fast.
They did. I agree. The thing is about this O-line, they are coming into their own at just the right time. Mm-hmm. And the benefit of having had the same 5 guys on the field all season without having all these switches with injuries and that sort of thing is such a blessing. Mm-hmm. So, as people have said, the Buffalo Bills are the best team currently not in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
And they are the team that nobody wants to see make the playoffs.
Yeah, everybody's rooting for us not to make the playoffs.
Nobody fears the Buffalo Bills more than the Miami Dolphins right now.
Yeah, we're coming. Smelling that blood, buddy. Hey, it's coming. Your butt's perking a little bit. You're a little nervous. A little nervous. Yes.
They're all coming together at precisely the right time. This is exactly what you want to see right now. The question is, and now we have to see, they have to finish their business.
Yes.
The next 2 games are winnable. Come on. Now, we'll talk about the Chargers game, but the Patriots are definitely beatable at this point. Mm-hmm. And so they must take care of business. That's like, they have to do it. Yeah. So their focus has to be one game at a time. And then get into, because isn't this going to be delightful if we can get there? Because fans, we can look ahead. The Miami Dolphins game for the division will be delicious if it happens, won't it?
You know what? I like that. I mean, because it's going to Miami, and I think going to Miami in December is beautiful for the Bills and Bills fans. But I like a scenario where they don't even make the playoffs. Me personally, I like a scenario where we're a Bills fan and we hate to see Patriots up there, the Jets up there, Miami. I love to see if it could happen that the other teams help us out, knock Miami out of the playoffs completely. And I love to see it play out on Hard Knocks because they're on Hard Knocks. And I want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Because there's no love lost. There's no love lost against the Bills in Miami. There's no love lost. They don't like us. We don't like you. Okay? So you don't want to see us in the playoffs, and we don't want to see you in the playoffs. Okay? So
bring it.
If it could happen, let it happen, please. You don't make the playoffs. But let's talk about our defensive side of the ball.
Ooh.
Let's give some Sean McDermott praise.
Yes.
We have lost. They have lost. We have lost some dominant players. But in that game, you didn't see it. You didn't see it because those guys was running around fast and free. Sean McDermott had these guys ready. Had them ready. Mm-hmm. That defensive side of the ball was physical and fast. Rap might played his best game against Dallas.
Ed Oliver had a great game.
Ed Oliver always plays great against Dallas, and I love it. I love it.
Texas thing.
Yeah, it is a Texas thing. You're right.
I have a shout out when you're talking about defense to our beloved number 7, Terror.
Oh,
Terror Johnson.
That's Terror Johnson. I love it.
Terror Johnson's got it, man. If there is a player on our defense now, in my opinion, who makes as much of a difference with his presence, it's Taron Johnson. Mm-hmm. He's as important to the defense now as Matt Milano was.
Yeah.
I
was nervous too, Robyn, that he wasn't going to be able to play because I thought it would be a major difference because of CeeDee Lamb, Taron Johnson going again. Yeah.
Yes. He makes such a difference. So let me ask you this question when you're talking about this wonderful defense. What do you suppose they'll be like when they get Daquan Jones back?
Oh, when I seen the window open of our beloved Jones, I was like,
oh. Wasn't
yes.
Oh, that was the best news
ever.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Jordan Phillips went down. And it was like he had surgery. Like, what happened?
Wrist, yeah.
And I'm like, all right. And I was sad for a moment. And then they was like, we're opening up his window. I was like, oh, my God.
I know.
Slipped him right in there.
I know. Amazing. And then let's see. On my list here.
Can I get a shout out? Oh, since you got a shout out, I want to give a shout out to Bobby Babich.
Yes.
The linebackers coach, because Bobby, I'm not going to lie to you, Bobby. This whole off season concerned this person and maybe that person. Wait, that person, because we were saying,
yes,
no more Tremaine. Okay, who's going to step up? They kept saying, he's on the team. Me and Robyn were like, are you kidding me? Who's on the team? We don't see it. Then you drafted a rookie. Maybe he'll step in. We didn't see it. But Bobby said, I have Dotson. I have Bernard. And we were like, you don't know what you're talking about. Us fans know what we're talking about. And Bobby said, no.
Hold my beer.
Right. Hold my beer. So I want to give a shout out to Bobby Babich. Have these linemen playing.
Oh, for real.
Linebackers playing like
out.
That was a physical game.
Yes.
Dotson.
And these guys are not big linebackers.
No.
We're not talking about,
a Tremaine or Ray Lewis.
I will say one thing about Bobby Babich, since you brought up his name, and this is just a great shout out that you have, because Bobby Babich, in my opinion, would be the ideal person if Leslie Frazier decides not to come back to being a DC and retires. And McDermott says, okay, well, I don't really want to call plays or whatever. I think Bobby
Too
Babbitt
much.
he'd just be a great DC. He's so respected in the locker room
Mhm.
and by everybody, even by the other players that aren't linebackers. He's just very,
Right.
very well respected guy. So yeah, big shout out. The other thing I want to mention quickly, and you brought it up, and I think it was Bill's chick on Twitter who brought it up, X, whatever. Gregory Rousseau is quietly having a really
Yeah.
good year,
What?
not getting the recognition
No.
that he should get nationally. Nobody knows about him. He's a big secret. But I'll tell you what, you talk to anybody who has to go up against him,
Mm-hmm.
not a secret to them.
No. He's healthy. The beginning of the season, he
Finally
was
started.
healthy. Then the middle,
Mhm.
he tweaked his foot or something was going on with his
Yeah.
foot, and now he's a healthy Gregory Rousseau, which was opposite last year because Gregory Rousseau was injured
Right.
towards the end of the season.
Right.
I mean,
That's the thing. We have to hope. This is when you want your team to stay healthy. Don't lose any more key players.
mhm.
Our defense, speaking of which, since we're wrapping up that discussion, has made the transition from losing 3 of their top players to having the Tyrell Dodsons come in.
Mhm.
And now they've played enough to where they get Sean McDermott's system. They know
Yes.
what Sean McDermott is asking of them. So now they are able to really be depth when these other players come back. It's
Well,
like,
not even that though, Robyn. So, I mean, you spoke of Rousseau, Leonard Floyd
yeah,
is having also a season, got an incentive because of sacks. Also, too, you're speaking about being healthy. We're getting Daquan Johnson back.
mhm,
Jones, I'm sorry, Daquan Jones back, who hasn't played for 2 months and is healthy. So why
like
the guys have
fresh,
played and keyword
fresh,
fresh. He's
fresh,
fresh.
fresh.
Yeah.
We got fresh.
Yeah.
Yes, defensive line. Thank you very much.
Defensive line had Deck on skates, uncomfortable in that pocket. Like they were pinning their ears back and getting after Deck.
And Tim Suttle's been playing better.
Yes.
He's stepped up, so got to give him a little shout out too. But all good. Defense is looking solid, playing hard.
Yeah.
That's the big key, playing hard.
Yeah, playing together. Yep, for sure. But I think
I'm here.
I think it's time. I'm
It's time.
I'm never ready. I'm never ready.
I don't
But
care.
here we go.
For me, come on, just spill that. Come on, just spill that. Spill that tea for me. Spill no dirty tea. Yeah, tell me everything. Come on, just spill that.
You know what time it is. It is called Spill the Tea. Robyn got some tea she want to spill, and I think it's us a bowl coming up, but we're going to talk about it.
We're talking
Spill the tea.
Fraud Bowl. That was my partner in crime here this morning who came up with that. The Fraud Bowl. Because we just played the Fraud Bowl and we won.
Yeah.
Although I guess that's kind of backwards because if you win the Fraud Bowl, then you're a fraud, right? So
Yeah.
maybe
No, we didn't play the Fraud Bowl. It's coming up. The Fraud Bowl is coming up on Sunday.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, the fraud. Yeah, I got you. Okay. So the Fraud Bowl will be the Miami Dolphins playing the Dallas Cowboys because they're both frauds. That's the Fraud Bowl. That's how that came together. Thank you, brain
No
fart.
problem. It's all good.
But here we are. So the bottom line is, my spilling the tea is we exposed Dallas as the frauds that they are. And I will go right out on a limb and say that. I don't care who I offend, poor Cowboys fans. I'm not going to cry any tears. On Twitter, a friend of mine told me to post this yesterday on Twitter, and I did. And it got quite a reaction. I wrote, what's going on in Dallas? Somebody get Trayvon Diggs out of there.
I love it.
Come to Buffalo, Trayvon Diggs.
I love it. Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
fraud poll. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Dallas came in, thought they didn't have, they're riding a 5-game win streak.
Yes.
So they're
Gotta give them that.
really, 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 really full of them. And of course, we know that the national media loves the Dallas Cowboys, good
Love
or
'em.
bad or otherwise. America's
Every year is
team.
their year. Every year is their year.
Every year is their year. So they win 5 in a row, and everyone has canonized them the next Super Bowl champion. And they fill their heads full of this stuff and come rolling into Buffalo thinking, we'll just get through this game and onward.
Said they weren't going to punt this
Yeah.
game.
Oh, that's right. They weren't going to punt. Well, they punted. And they punted. And they punted.
And they punted.
And they threw an interception.
No. Not Dak. Because that's supposed to have been Josh, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Josh is the one that throws all the interceptions. And I'm telling you what, for real people, Dallas is a fraud.
It's definitely going to find out this Sunday against Miami.
In the Fraud Bowl. Who's the worst fraud?
Right.
Now,
and I'm sorry. Dallas should be hungry, but they're playing in Miami, and I mean, I don't know. I want Miami to crumble. So I'm definitely rooting for Dallas to win. If anything we've done for Miami, we showed them how to beat Dallas, right? And they have some great running backs. They got O'Chain and Mostert. So they have running backs. Now, is Mike McDaniel going to use the running backs the way that he should against Dallas? I don't know. Maybe. I hope not. I don't know. I want Dallas to win. But just like anything else, we broke Dallas. We broke Philly, even though we should have won that game. Philly hasn't won a game since since they beat us, which they should have lost, and they know they should have lost. Right. They're broken. And then after we beat the Chargers and New England comes to Buffalo, which they hate during this season, that Josh played a perfect game. I don't know if you guys remember that Josh played a perfect game against New England. These are the same people who say that Josh Allen is not a top 3, top 2 quarterback. He had a perfect game. How many quarterbacks can you say out loud that had a perfect game in the NFL? Let me think. No. None. Anyway, moving on, and now we're going to move on to Miami. Sorry, guys. I'm feeling myself. I love my team, and we want to win. And we're mad because we're in this position. And I don't even have spilled the tea, but I got this. We're mad because we're in a position. We're 8-6, Robyn. 8-6
of our own making.
Yes, looking in, saying we could do this. They can do this.
And this is where we find out what this team really wants.
Mm-hmm.
Because it all has to start happening right now. Got to roll the next 2 games, got to beat the Miami Dolphins and roll into the playoffs hotter than hell.
I mean,
that's what you want.
And we're just talking here. So allow us to talk. And if you don't want to hear it, you can always press that button. But yeah. But it's like, they always talk about December football. You want to get hot in the right time. And December you want to be hot at that time and going into the playoffs, not smoking hot, but on a good streak.
Right.
And the Bills right now is looking like that team. because the beginning of the season, it looked a mess. If you can go back from week 1 and seen the mess, and me and Robyn we're gonna recap this season because
it's been a
was
while.
a roller coaster of emotion, and I got off at some point and was just like, I'm not doing it. But it was a roller coaster season.
Oh man.
And right now we stand at 8-6 in trying to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's of our own making. However, everything the Bills want at this point is right in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's there for them. It's not like you want to talk about contrast, because I have to do it.
Oh, God. What happened?
Good luck tonight, boys. God bless the Buffalo Sabres. May we please win a game against Toronto tonight. I don't know. And that's the contrast I'm talking about right now. The vibe, the mind space, the stuff for the Bills is in one place, and the Sabres are a whole different situation. They got issues.
Right.
And so this is the point when you're riding, as you said, you're riding the hot hand going into December, where cross fingers and toes and everything else, relatively healthy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Ride that train, get on that mind place where now you see the championship in front of you and you go for it. The whole enchilada is there for them if they have the talent to win the Super Bowl. There's no question in my mind. They have the talent to win the Super Bowl.
And it's so crazy, right? Because now we're seeing Matt Milano, right? And you're just like, oh my God, if Matt Milano comes back, like, what does that look like for them?
Oh my God. Holy moly. Because I'm already thinking about, if he doesn't come back this year, I'm already thinking about what is it going to be like with Matt Milano and Bernard.
And then you have Williams on the back end of that, a season underneath him, seeing everything and it's slowing down for him.
Yes.
And then you have Douglas, and then you have White coming back. What does all of that look like too?
Oh, exactly. The future's bright on defense for sure. But it's the mindset. It's the mindset now that you have everything in front of you.
Yes.
It is all there for you now for the taking.
It was, to be quite honest, and you know what? Now we can move on to the Chargers are up next.
Yes.
Right? So everything, like you said, is right in front of you. You're not playing with Trevor. What's his name? What's his name is out. Herbert. So Herbert is out.
Herbert,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not playing. They don't have it. They have a lot of guys that's injured. What was I calling? I lost my train of thought. Herbert's out. Their center's out. Just went down last week, and this is a wounded team.
And they lost their coach and their general manager and all of that. I mean, they're in complete disarray.
It's a wounded team injury-wise, right?
Yes.
But then the flip side of that, Robyn, can be the GM's gone. The head coach is gone. Okay. Here's where I'm a little nervous about, but I mean, they should win this game. So as a player, you're saying, well, it was them. It wasn't us. So motivation, that combination can be kind of scary because motivation is real. You want to go out here and play for your contract. You want to go out here and play for the interim head coach, whatever. So I'm going to play fast, and I have nothing to lose.
We have seen this as Bills fans. How many times have we had interim
Absolutely.
coaches and disasters happening, and then the team, it coalesces them and they roll?
Right.
Because they are professionals, and they will take it personally if all the talking heads are out there going, the Chargers suck and they're going to be terrible and nobody, they're not going to score. These people are professional people, and they are playing, as you said, for their contracts, for their future. So they cannot be underestimated as an opponent, nor should the next opponent after that.
Right.
So,
and I don't think the Bills don't take approaches like that at all. And I think also too, speaking of the season, they've had losses where it's like scratching your head, like, why did you lose against New England? Why did you lose it? It's a combination of, they know if it's bigger, it's a bigger picture. They know if we lose this game, which we should not lose, our playoffs hopes are probably gone. We're going to need other people to help us out, So I don't think they're going to take Khalil Mack 15 sacks against the Chargers lightly.
No,
because he's trying to go for that sack. I guess that sack, whatever.
Record.
Yeah, thank you. I was having a brain fire. Sack record, and the Chargers are 6th ranked in sacks.
Yes,
and the Bills are 5th. So this game is going to be won, I think, in the trenches, but
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see,
sure.
And we'll see what kind of team shows up. Are they serious about this? I like to think it's just a habit of mine. What's the best lesson that can come out of this season of ups and downs?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's that now that they don't have an easy pathway to the playoffs. Some could argue that the next 2 games aren't as difficult as what, say, the Dolphins have for the next couple of games, but still the Bills have the ability now to be able to use the ups and downs that they had during the season to motivate them more, because like you said, they have to win.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are
the
number 1 seed or whatever, they wouldn't be playing with as much motivation as they have to play.
Right.
It's a different mindset,
right.
And they know it. And let's not forget, I don't think it has escaped Josh Allen that he's not getting any younger.
Mm-hmm.
And that you make the playoffs. You're not playing to make the playoffs. You're playing to win the championship.
Yeah. Make the playoffs great. That's not the season.
No.
Making the playoffs is not the season for this team.
Not for this team.
No.
Might be for the Sabres, but it's not. It's not for the Buffalo Bills. Okay.
Right. That's the next step.
It is the next step. And the next step can't be, we get there and we're satisfied that we just play 1 or 2 games in the playoffs. No. This has to be the whole enchilada.
Right. When it comes to this team, every season should be Super Bowl, thinking about making the Super Bowl, not just going to the playoffs.
Winning.
Yeah, winning the Super Bowl, right.
Win the damn thing.
Right, absolutely.
After everything we've been through in the Super Bowl, if you make it, you damn well better win it.
Yeah. I wanted to say this, and I forgot to touch on it when we were talking about the defense. So the defense had opportunities to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interceptions. First quarter period. Think about the Sabres. First quarter, Benford had 2 opportunities to have 2 interceptions. Mm-hmm. Second quarter, Jordan Phillips almost had an interception. Yep. Fourth quarter, Jordan Poyer almost had an interception. Fourth quarter, Teron Johnson, right there in his hand, almost had an interception. And then Dak said, I almost threw so many, I might as well just give one to Benford. Gave one to Benford. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities. They had 6, but they got 1. 6 opportunities to get interceptions.
Fraud.
We cannot we gotta take we gotta get we gotta capitalize on those turnovers.
Yeah, we
Have
do.
to.
We
Have
got to
to.
capitalize on them. That's a big part of playoffs,
Yes.
are turnovers.
Yes.
And the focus has to be on turnovers. One thing I think Sean McDermott doesn't get enough credit for is when the defense is going through a period of time when they're not getting enough turnovers, and he makes an emphasis of it, whatever he does seems to work. And I do think you're going to find this defense become increasingly opportunistic as we go through the remaining games of the season. And I am just so happy that we are at this point where we can have this discussion based on 2 solid wins. Platform is established for success. The guys know what they have to do. It's kind of like, come on, let's put the car in drive and go.
Yeah, continue to focus on the goal. Win the games that you need to win, complete the mission, and let's just rock. Like, I think these guys are so focused on that game, and then when that game's done, we have to focus on it. Like, I think for me, when I see this team, I just think they're like, all right, let's get done with the regular season so we can focus and get moved on to the playoffs, so we can just win playoff games, and we could just tell y'all that beginning of the season was not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I think they're motivated. I do.
Oh, absolutely.
They're motivated. The mindset and the vibe is good.
Definitely. So we're going to switch it up a little bit because, guys, it's the holiday season. And I asked Robyn what was her favorite Christmas song. She hasn't told me yet, but it's apparently a story that's going to make me freaking cry.
Of course it is. Because what else would I do but make you cry, right? No,
right?
Cry. Well, I will tell you a story, because when I saw that favorite Christmas song, it was like it just popped into my head immediately. For me, there's a song, Silent Night. And the words of the song aren't as significant to me as the tune. And here's why. My grandmother was born in 1888.
Oh, okay.
In Austria. And when she was 15 years old, she was married off and sent to the United States. She had 2 sisters. She was adopted. So she doesn't really know the reason why. She didn't know the reason why that she was married off and sent away. But she was in the early 1900s. And shortly thereafter, something called the Iron Curtain went down, and she never was able to communicate with her family again. And you can imagine being basically a child and going through what she went through. She was traumatized terribly, and she didn't know, to the day she died, she spoke English, but broken English. And so one of the ways that she calmed herself at night, because when I was a little kid, we had bunk beds, and I was in the upper bunk bed and she was below me, and she would hum Silent Night.
Oh, okay.
And that was her way of relaxing herself. And she would do this year round. And it was her way of calming herself when she would, and she often did, cry because she missed her family, because she was never able to be in contact with again. So I have so many memories as a kid laying in that upper bunk and listening to my grandma.
Oh, wow.
And she would do that, and it was her way of comforting herself. So whenever I hear Silent Night, like I said, it's the words. If you're not a Christian, you look at the words and it's like, well, why would that song have so much meaning? But it was the tune and the feeling and the love that was associated with it. She was also a very devout Catholic, so it was her way of calming herself, but at the same time, a prayer that she had that meant something to her. So that's my favorite Christmas song.
Oh, okay.
Did I make you cry?
Listen, I'm holding it together. I'm holding it together. Yes.
What's yours?
So it's so crazy. I don't even know who sings it, but it's Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh, Blue Suede Shoes.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's definitely a sad song. It's about a little boy going into his store and wanting to buy some shoes for his mom. He doesn't have enough money to buy the shoes because his mother might not see another day because she has cancer. And it just reminds me of my father because, my father passed from cancer. And every time I hear it, even though it's a sad song, it's, I like it. Like it doesn't make me sad per se.
It fills your heart.
It just gives me joy. Just gives me joy.
It fills your heart.
Yes.
So isn't it funny that we both picked songs that had such a sentimental meaning?
Jeez, we didn't make Rudolph, like none of that. We
talk to each other about this stuff. It's like it just comes out of us.
Yeah, it did. We didn't even discuss it.
About it. God, girlfriend. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of freaky. We both have kind of tender hearts. I think that's.
Yes, we do. We definitely do.
So please, Bills, win the Super Bowl, and please, Buffalo win tonight.
If they win the Super Bowl, Robyn, I don't even know what to do with my life. Like, seriously.
I'll tell you what, I'll be at your doorstep.
We're going to be sobbing.
That happens.
Yes. Because you're coming to Buffalo. So, I mean,
yes.
You have a place to stay. You know that.
Oh,
we're going to be just crying.
Oh,
and you know what? I might just be intoxicated.
Well, I might just
I'll give 1 day of intoxication.
Yeah.
One
for
day.
The parade.
Yes.
Definitely for the parade.
That is it.
Someday it's going to happen. I just
absolutely.
Well, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you again, guys, for always tuning in to us. Now we talk about the Bills. We jabber about the Bills. I mean, you know how it goes, but this is fun.
Love each other.
Yes, for sure. Love this. So that's my girl right there. Robyn is my girl. She's my girl. I love her. I love you. I love you. I love you. But yes, so guys, Saturday, Peacock. 8:00. I know Peacock.
On the radio, I think. I don't get Peacock, and I'm not buying it just for one Bills game. So.
Well, it's going to be locals for us, so I won't have to
you're lucky, but I have a Sunday ticket. I should be able to watch it. If it's not,
that's right, because it's exclusive.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'll be listening to it on the radio, but that's okay. I'll be listening. I still can text you, you know.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'll shut it down and go to bed.
And then wake up and go, what?
What happened? Now I'm on the toilet watching it. Not literally, guys. I'm just in the bathroom. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. This is Tea Time with Robyn, with my girl Robyn. Again, like she said, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. We love you. Peace out, and always go Bills. Peace, y'all.
Until next time, Mafia, this has been Tea Time with T and Robyn.
The Bills make me wanna